Alright, presence is a lot more important than you think. And I'm talking about mental presence. Room presence is nice. Like when you walk into a room and you're just in the zone and everyone's like looking at you and stuff like that, or you're walking around, you notice you have some eyes on you. That's nice. Don't get me wrong, but mental presence is more important. Because I'm sure you've had conversations, right, where maybe you're talking to a girl, maybe you're talking to a friend, maybe you're talking to your parents, and you're having this conversation, right? And you don't have the ability to have the conversation's good, but it could be a lot better, and you're thinking about all these random things, your mind's going off into random spots, and you're thinking to yourself, man, I don't even remember what half the conversation was. Like, I wasn't even paying attention. I wasn't even looking I didn't really make good eye contact. I was kind of just in la la land. That was me for a while. Like, when people would talk to me, my mind just was completely elsewhere, especially in school and when my teachers were talking or whatever. My mind was, they were talking about, math or something, and my mind was just out the window. Like, I was just thinking, I was probably thinking about like video games or something like that, or maybe some girl I had a crush on, and my mind was just in complete la la land. Mental presence will allow you to have better conversations, and it will allow you to build better relationships with both guys and girls. So here, let me run you through a scenario real quick. Say you meet a girl in school, at work, out in public or whatever. You guys start talking, excuse me. Anyway, you guys start talking and it's a half decent conversation, but then after a little while, she seems to kind of like check out a little bit because she can sense you're not present. People can tell when you are not being an active listener and not thinking. Another thing too is just flat out not listening. Just sitting there, and instead of listening to the person, you're listening to give a response. You see what I'm saying? Like, then you're just trying to make the conversation about yourself and about what you can say, what can come out of your mouth next. Don't do that. Be thoughtful in conversations, because if you're thoughtful, you can give better responses, and the conversation will flow better. It'll be more enjoyable for both people who are talking. Anyway, let's flash back to that other conversation. You and the girl are talking. And then maybe because you're present, it goes better. She realizes you're present. You give good responses. You're like playing with her a little bit, like you're touching her arm and something like that. You're like, if he makes a dumb joke or something, you guys have been talking for, maybe you push her a little bit if you're comfortable with that. That conversation would go a lot better, and then you can ask the question, hey, I was gonna go do X. Do you want to come join me? And it's pretty straightforward if you're present. Now, presence is a great thing, but I feel like not a lot of people understand the concept of it, and not a lot of people understand how to do it. So and I'm still developing this myself, but I've learned how to develop that skill. And that skill can be developed through meditation. So I'm sure you've heard of the concept of meditation before, right? I'm sure you've heard people talk about meditation. They're like, oh, you have to be a monk. You have to, I don't know, meditate on top of Mount Fiji. And sure, if you want that life, if you want to be a monk, then go for it. But that's not necessarily what all of meditation is. What meditation is you either by yourself, or you could do this actually in public if you're feeling some social anxiety. There have been times where my mind's kind of wandering all over the place and I'm not present. Actually, this was me yesterday. My mind was kind of thinking about stuff. I was at the beach yesterday and it was just thinking about random things, and I wasn't really present. So I was in the car and I was just sat there, and I kept my eyes open, didn't make it obvious or whatever, but I just went, and I just focused on my breathing, and it got me in the headspace of being present, and I was a lot more calmer and like less nervous or whatever. But anyways, yes, meditation can work absolute wonders. And what I like to do is I'll focus, this is the most common thing that people do, is they'll focus on their breath, just like that, and they will get a quiet space, or maybe if they can't, they'll be out in public, and they'll just do it subtly. They'll just focus on their breathing, and it kind of just resets your mind, and it just allows it to focus. So how do you step by step do this? How does this work? So set aside some time, however much you can do, and if you want to meditate, don't start off swinging for the fences, because you're just going to get frustrated and you're just going to get upset. Like, if you were trying to read a book, right, you wouldn't pick up the Bible and read the Bible cover to cover in one sitting. You never liked reading. Meditation's kind of the same thing. If you want to get to a certain point, but you know you're not capable of that yet, that's okay. How do you can develop that skill over time and through practice. So what you can do is, if you can only have focus for 30 seconds, focus for 30 seconds. And if you only can do it once a day, only do it once a day. Meditation is such a practical skill, and you can do it really anywhere. You can do it if you're at a party, you can do it in your room, you can do it wherever, doesn't matter. But I know for me, I like to kind of schedule it into my routine a little bit. I like to do it in the mornings, and if I am feeling it, I'll do it at night. But yeah, meditation is just a really, really great thing. And over time, you can, same thing, the same way you would in the gym, and you make progress in the gym, you can just progressively overload on meditation. So, alright, we'll go back to 30 seconds, right? So say you start off at 30 seconds. You get comfortable with 30 seconds. You're like, okay, I'm getting the hang of this, I'm getting good. And then you bump it to a minute, and then you sit there and you meditate for a minute. Maybe you bump it to 5 minutes after that. And then you got momentum, and then you're going. You got progress going. You got a snowball going. And then before you know it, you're meditating for 20 minutes flat out. And sure, you're going to lose your focus. That's the whole point of meditation. But you're going to sit and meditate for 20 minutes. Like, how cool is that? And now another thing that I want to touch on real quick is that so many people think that if they can't sit and meditate without thinking, without their mind wandering, then they can't do it. That's not true. The whole point of meditation is so that you can lose focus and then regain it again. It's just like you're just practicing for regaining mental presence in situations. So if you're meditating and you're sitting and you're breathing and whatever, you're focusing on your breath, and say like you're thinking about, I don't know, your mind wanders and you think about your calories or whatever. If you're in a gym season right now, so you say you're thinking about your macros. Okay, just and you go off and think about it for like 3 minutes. Okay, and then you realize, oh snap, let me bring it back. Let me go meditate again. That is one like bicep curl for the mind. That is one bicep curl for meditation. So you're not doing it wrong. You're perfectly fine. If you lose focus, totally okay. That's actually the point of it. You're fine. Meditation is an absolute game changer. It'll give you so much more presence, and it'll improve your conversations dramatically, and it'll just put you in better situations overall. Yeah. It's good. Meditation is a good skill to have. But anyway, you got this. I believe in you. It's going to be great. You're going to do great things.